Hello everyone, CoinHound here with yet another fabulous show and tell. Back in the 19th century, Queen Victoria of England put together a list of virtues intended to inform and guide the behavior of the English monarchs. On the list, she identified 6 virtues: victory, truth, justice, charity, courage, and constancy. These virtues are now being commemorated in a new silver coin series, being jointly issued by the East India Company and St. Helena, an island principality in the South Atlantic. On your screen here is the first coin in the series, which was just issued. Now, as we take a look at the design, at the center of the design is a representation of winged victory. This particular winged victory, the design of it, the style of it, is inspired by the winged victory that rests on top of the Victoria Memorial in London, a memorial that is located in the front of Buckingham Palace. Now that memorial has atop it the winged victory statue, and then it also has representations of the other 5 virtues at various places around the statue and on the base. Now you'll see in the image here that in her left hand, the winged victory is holding a palm branch, which is the traditional symbol of victory and peace. And there is an inscription, "Victory through Harmony," on the left-hand side of the coin. And of course, this is the reverse side. The St. Helena is a British possession, so Queen Elizabeth will be on the obverse, which we'll look at momentarily. Now, behind the Winged Liberty figure, you will see that there is kind of an intricate design back there that nicely offsets the more frosted appearance of the Winged Victory figure, and also the background that the saying is etched on. And then on the bottom right-hand side, there is a very small little privy that I don't know that I'm going to get zoomed in enough here for you. Maybe if I grab this and pull it a little bit closer, we'll get a good look. Not quite focusing, but basically it is an E, an I, and a C, which is a representation of East India Company. Now, when we finish looking at the coin, I will talk a little bit about St. Helena, and it's got an interesting story to it. Perhaps it's best known as the location where Napoleon lived out his last years while in exile. And then there's going to be a follow-on video in which I look at a 250-gram silver bar issued by St. Helena, a legal tender silver bar, with the theme of the East India Company. And in that video, I'll talk a little bit about the East India Company, which also has a pretty interesting history and played a significant role in world events. This gives you kind of a really nice close-up of the coin there. Very well done, in my opinion. Very nice image, just a beautiful coin. But then again, I feel like I'm saying that in all these presentations. It's hard to describe them without falling into cliches. But very attractive design, which I'm very pleased with. And I'm going to turn the coin around, and then we'll look at the obverse of the coin with my glove here. And it, of course, has Queen Elizabeth. And there's a whole slew of coins out there, obviously, that have Queen Elizabeth on the obverse. Of those various designs, I think this one ranks well up there. I really do like this one. I like the way that you have the border going around that kind of frames the image. You have the background behind the Queen that matches the background behind the Winged Liberty on the other side. You've got, obviously, another inscription, St. Helena, Queen Elizabeth II, 2021, 1 ounce, 3/9 fine silver, and then just to the left of the 1 ounce reference, you'll see a 1 pound designation. So this is a 1 pound coin. So now that you've had a chance to see the coin, let's just take a brief look at St. Helena. Okay, so St. Helena is part of a British territory known as St. Helena, Ascension, and Tristan da Cunha. Basically, 3 island nations that are joined into one territory under ultimately British rule. Now, St. Helena, as you can see on the map there, is located in the South Atlantic. It has a fairly remote location. That distance from Africa is over 1,000 miles. And I believe it's upwards of 1,000 miles from Ascension as well. So these are pretty remote islands. And it's basically, from a geographical standpoint, it's a volcanic island that generally has a warm temperate climate. It was first discovered by the Portuguese in the early 1500s. Now, ultimately, the Portuguese had little interest in the island, and it's worth noting that when the Portuguese did discover it, there were no natives living there. There was no indigenous peoples. It was basically uninhabited. So the Portuguese ultimately had little interest. The Dutch had dabbled there for a little while thereafter, and then ultimately the British would take control of the island, and a charter would be given to the East India Company in 1658. So there's the connection with the East India Company. And the East India Company would govern the island for almost 200 years. St. Helena is an island nation of about 4,500 people. So population-wise, it's quite tiny. Pictured here on the screen is the capital, which is Jamestown. And we have another image here, a bit of a close-up of the capital. And you can see that it's a relatively small-scale affair, wedged in there between those 2 volcanic, I don't know if you'd call them mountains or large hills. Very interesting kind of geographical situation there. Now, when it comes to currency, St. Helena has basically its own currency, known as the St. Helena pound, but that pound is pegged at parity to the British pound. And on the screen there, you can see a banknote. Very pretty banknote, if you ask me. I just love the coloring on that and the design and the like. 3 islands are administered by a governor who is appointed by Her Majesty the Queen. This is a picture of his residence on St. Helena. There's also a legislative council which assists with the governing as well. Now, this is an island nation of significant and rugged beauty. I mean, just look at this image here. Absolutely incredible. But St. Helena is known probably in most people's minds, first and foremost, for being the location of Napoleon's final exile. You may know or may remember that Napoleon had been originally exiled to the island of Elba, which was not overly far from France. He managed to escape and return to France and basically retake control of the army and the country briefly until his loss at the famed Battle of Waterloo. After that battle, Napoleon was once again sent into exile, but this time it was determined to send him somewhere very remote, where there would be a much reduced aspect of escape and easy access back to the European continent. So it was here that he was sent to this island, and he lived in this home here. It's known as Longwood House for the 6 years or so that he was on the island. He was exiled there in 1815 and died of stomach cancer in 1821. He was buried on the island, but later on would be exhumed and then returned to France. So anyways, folks, that's St. Helena. And I have a second companion video coming up soon on a legal tender 250-gram silver bar, also issued by St. Helena. And that has a wonderful design commemorating the East India Company. And it's really captured my fancy, the design on this silver bar. So you really got to check it out when it comes out here shortly and see what I'm talking about. But anyways, as part of that video, we'll talk a little bit about the East India Company and their role on the global stage, their connection to the British government, and then obviously as rulers of the island of St. Helena for an extended period of time. All right, folks, if you liked the video, please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. And if you want to go that extra mile, hit the notification bell. That'll ensure that you do not miss any of my upcoming content. All right, folks, that's it for today. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate you watching, especially those of you who have made it here to the end of the video. And that's it for now. This is CoinHound signing out.